Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tier 1 Esports. I'm Dragon King Super from Space Canada. Oh, the song's playing again. How lovely. So, here on Tier 1, this is the Platoon highlights. I'm Dragon King Soup. Well, thank you. And today we're going to be showcasing Vets Gaming. A lot of these guys are veterans of armed forces, mainly a lot of the U.S. armed forces. And today we're going to be showcasing them playing. They're doing a platoon practice, so we're going to see a lot of them here today, which is going to be really cool. We're going to see probably the most we've actually had since GSP playing at the same time. They're going to be playing, it looks like, Conquest. There's a long list of people. I'm going to try to get through everybody who's playing on the server. Just a few couple notes. We're still waiting for those rented servers. This is what you can do. Go on to any of, you could be either be Tier 1s or any of the other groups that is for these servers, that is part of some sort of community in Battlefield, and sign a petition. Make sure that DICE and EA, they hear these voices. This is all could have been done on a private server, this practice. It can't be. It can't be until they do something. So, and without further ado, I now hand it over to Super Evil Pop-Tarts, who is with Iceman and who is Dr. Ellie Bibbs. I'm sorry, I'm not with it today, but he will announce them better than I. Pop-Tarts, take it away.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Super Evil Pop-Tarts from Space Canada TV, and with me, as always, is executive producer Tycoon the Fail Kitty. And tonight, we are going to be talking to the guys from Vets Gaming. Why don't you introduce yourselves to the ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience?
I am Iceman, and I'm the platoon commander.
I'm Dr. Liebs. I'm number 2, which makes me closest when it hits the fan.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, at least you still have 2 of your eyes, unlike Mr. 2 for Dr. Evil there. So why don't we ask you why you guys started your platoon in the first place?
Well, about 6.5 years ago, I had to go in for hernia surgery, and it was going to lay me up for about 6 weeks. And I had tried Call of Duty, but I didn't like it, so I was playing zombies, and a friend of mine told me about Battlefield. So I picked it up, I tried it, it was too hard. So I figured I'm going to have 6 weeks, let me try it out. And after about 2 hours of playing, I met a few guys and just went from there.
All right. And why don't you tell us all about Vets Gaming?
Well, Vets Gaming is, it really is a community. Bunch of good guys sticking together, having fun. We like to help, you know, the veterans. We're real big on veterans, any civil service. We even collect, you know, donations. We don't touch the money, it goes directly to the source, but we have a couple of buttons on website and Facebook to where people could donate and help veterans that are, you know, having trouble PTSD, trouble getting jobs, you know, paying for groceries and stuff like that. So we try and help.
All right. And that gives you the sense of community for the platoon as a whole, and that's what keeps your core group together.
Yeah, and it's, you know, we have active and retired military in the platoon, and we have civilian people, stuff like that. It's just a good group of guys, you know, on same maturity level. A lot of us are friends for years. You know, I have guys that are still in the platoon from when I first started it. And a decent amount of guys when I first started that we still keep in touch and play other games, so it's pretty cool. Good group of guys.
How much of your platoon is made up of veterans or currently serving members of the military, policemen, first responders?
I would say, well, Doug, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I don't have a hard, fast number for you. I would say it seems like it's close to half.
Yeah.
Seems like every other guy has military or law enforcement.
Yeah. I would think maybe a little bit higher than that, but you know, there's so many guys, and we're starting to recruit again heavy on 5. So I hear a lot of military and stuff. But it was a good mix.
Both of you former serving in the military or civil servants, like police officers?
Well, after I got out of jail in New York, I moved to the South and decided to become a cop. I'm only kidding about the jail. No, I'm law enforcement, retired law enforcement.
Okay.
I'm a civilian.
You're
Yeah,
a
I'm a
civilian. Okay.
Well, let me tell you something, if I may mention something about that. A lot of the guys, you know, if you were in the military or law enforcement, you understand where I'm coming from. It's like a camaraderie. And the guys like Doug that are civilians, Doug has been around so long, he just blends right in with that. It's just, it's more of a family type of thing, I guess, that I'm trying to say, is the non-veteran, non-law enforcement, military learn what the camaraderie is all about in this game, believe it or not. So it's pretty cool.
Now, I've interviewed other platoons, and a lot of them also talk about how at least veterans seem to gravitate towards Battlefield because it gives them, especially when they get up in the platoon, it gives them that sense of camaraderie that they had in the service. Also, it helps a lot of them with, you know, like PSD and all that other stuff. Would you think that is a correct, you know, that's what for veterans or currently serving vets, that a game like this actually is helpful for them?
Very, more than you can imagine. Doug, would you agree?
I would agree. I think it gives guys that, you know, who had that bond of brothers in service, and they don't have a mission now, and it kind of gives them a place to feel safe to talk with their you know, co-veterans, you know, kind of have a purpose, and not a purpose, but, you know, you're gaming, and it's, you know, you have a purpose within the game, kind of brings some of that teamwork and working towards a bigger goal kind of thing together, and helps them be with people who think like they do, you know.
And if I may touch on that also, if you don't think that Doug, myself, and some of the other guys have been up with other members who are having a hard time, this game absolutely 100% helps with all of that stuff. And you don't let go of the camaraderie. I mean, ask a Marine, you know. You don't get over that, so it helps. It's good.
All right, so besides Battlefield 5, are there other games that you guys gravitate to, whether it's multiplayer or solo games that you guys play together, or, you know, definitely dive in and talk with each other and help with each other with?
Well, I'll tell you right now, the two guys that are in this chat right now go head-to-head in Madden, and we're enemies when we play. Trust me, it's awesome games, close game. We have a lot of fun. We what are some of the other games? We had MLB League, Baseball League. We did. What's some of the other stuff that we?
Every time I get online and we're not playing like a platoon event, and I see guys in my friends list, and most of them are, almost all of them are guys from the platoon, and I'll see them playing Ark Survival, or they might have been playing Rocket League for a long time, Minecraft even. You know, any game that's multiplayer,
2K.
these guys are Destiny. Yeah.
2K, Destiny. Yeah. We that's why we call it a community, is because it's, you know, Battlefield is the heart and soul of it, absolutely. But we have a lot of fun.
And I know a lot of guys who've hung around and played this game, and I know I feel this way myself, is if I wasn't playing with my friends, and by friends I mean guys who really want to play the game, hardcore gamers like we are, if it wasn't for them, I'd probably be bored with these games a lot sooner. And Battlefield 4, we played that up until the release of this game. So if it wasn't for having my friends online to go hang out with and play, I would take a long time.
Same way, yeah. I agree.
Now, when it comes to keeping your whole platoon on the same page, what tools do you use in your toolbox, and which tool's your favorite, your go-to when it comes to, you know, posting for scrims, practice, dumb stuff in general?
Parker Wolcott is an amazing guy to have in a platoon. You know, he does a lot of work for us. He's we have a chain of command. We have people in charge of certain areas, such as recruiting, stuff like that. And it helps us keep organized. The communication line is always there. You know, if there's an issue, it goes to squad leader, then the division commander, and then it'll go up the chain. We have an in-house liaison that if there's an issue, the commanders go to him and they take care of it. If it needs to come up the chain to the upper leaders, then we'll know. And it keeps peace, and it keeps a lot less stress on us. And the guys know that if they want something to get to us, they just go to their squad leader. We listen to everything, and we make this a good gaming community.
As far as like the tools we use, the technical stuff, we have we started with a website about 5 years ago, and it was one of the ones you just kind of get out of the can. It's a service, and they you know, present you with options. And it wasn't quite doing it for us, so we built our own website, and that is probably, you know, that gets used on a weekly basis, where we have our practice signups. We have, you know, we may post information specific to our members, like, you know, hey, here's a map that, you know, we're pointing out hot spots, or, you know, resupply locations, stuff like that. It also keeps a track of everybody's attendance, so we know who's really dedicated and involved, and when we get involved in the tournaments, we know who, if we have to choose people, we know who's put in the work all along. And we also have some of our own badging systems where we can create awards to give our guys. It transcends
medals.
One game to the next, yeah. So the website's a big part of that. We were, up until just maybe a month ago, we were using Facebook for like a private group and Messenger, because we have a pretty big group of people. I mean, we have, you know, honestly 35 active guys who are every week playing or telling us they wish they could play. And then we have probably another 30 or 40 who kind of come and go, you know, with life and boredom and games and things like that. So keeping track of all that is difficult on a large scale, and doing it in Facebook was becoming difficult. So a Private Wolcott, aka Parker, he kind of spearheaded us getting to Discord and had a lot of help from LPR, aka Logan. So if I tell you their first name, you know who I'm talking about. They put a lot of time and work into setting up Discord, and we've moved to it. We've been on it about a month now. Like it a lot. It enables us to kind of compartmentalize the different chats that are going on. I don't need to know everything that they're talking about in the recon group, you know, but I can jump in there if I need to. We have general announcements and stickies, and it really keeps it organized. With Facebook, it was one big feed, and you could post something in, and by an hour later it's lost. So Discord's been a big help. We use that daily, and then coupled with the website, and then we use a voice app like in-game. Our squads are communicating right now with Zello. We like Zello. We're thinking about the Discord voice app. We haven't moved to that yet, because Zello's got a few features we like better. So that's kind of the three pieces we use.
Well, I know Discord seems to be the soup de jour with when it comes to platoons keeping their stuff together. And,
it really is helpful, very helpful.
Yep. You know, Discord, my wallet feels empty. You should fill it with money.
Well, it's cool that, you know, Discord is free, so if you don't have resources to put together your own website, you can do a lot with Discord in and of itself, and then as you find other communities are using it, you learn your way around it, and you can get to the other communities and figure your way through there. So it's nice that it's kind of the gaming community as a whole seems to be really embracing it, and so
I mean, you could get it free on your tablet, your cell phone, your laptop, your Tower of Power. It's just that we've been plugging Discord so much, I should get paid Discord. Okay.
Don't forget the bets.
Yeah. They might start charging us to use it and see how many of our guys are on it.
All right. So, in the coming months, is there anyone in player-wise and vets that people should be looking out, keeping their eyes on for that guy? So when they're playing matches or they know who they're up against, that they got to keep an eye on him. Anyone that stands out?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Well, go ahead, Ice.
No, you go. Go ahead.
Well, our buddy Parker has been putting together the battlefield tracker stats for our platoon. He's got these all broken down on our website, who our record holders are. And, you know, if you see your name on that list, you're an elite player, because we got a lot of good players in this platoon. And we got a new guy named Icy Mr. Jingles, and man, he's just got heads and tails over me and most of the other guys on here. But some of the other players like D Dodger 2001, and we call him MP because he's got his Marine Division here. MP Commander Headquarters Battalion 1 Marine Division. I'm not sure how you break that down in his tag. Mayday, Get 'em Coach, Blackbird, Just Call Me the Guy, Death Demon, Rice Krispie, Pop Tart, Stumbling Stems. These guys and more, but those guys are like the top. JB, yeah, Just Call Me the Guy. I mean, they're just they have a knack for making points and getting kills. And
just to interject on a second there, viewers, that's a different Pop-Tarts, not this Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. PT part is his handle, so.
Okay, yeah, no, it's not me. Trust me, I'm not going to be in any of those lists.
Yeah.
Anyone that sticks out for you, Iceman? Or did pretty much
the one in particular, I mean, it's so hard because they're all a bunch of great guys. But JB is one. JB's coming a long way.
That's Just Call Me the Guy.
Just Call Me the Guy. Mayday is really coming through with SF. You know, our buddy Bear Jew, he's been around for years. He lost his home and everything in California. And, you know,
Paradise Campfire.
Yeah, so he was head of our... he was in armor with us for a few years, and then he switched to SF. And, but there's a lot of guys. Stained Glass, you know, he's commander, upper leader and commander over infantry. And, you know, he's doing a great job. There's just so many. There's too many to mention, to be honest with you.
All right, so that's nice to hear about all the boys in your platoon to look out for. How do the big bosses and vets, how do they go about playing Battlefield 5? What's your favorite, what's the class you go towards and your loadouts? What do you gravitate towards?
I'm die-hard armor. Tanks is what I love. Leaps.
I was die-hard armor from Battlefield 4 and just absolutely loved the vehicles in that game. In Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, I've kind of come to like the ground game, so I typically run as a medic when the situation calls for being, you know, in the meat grinder. And if I'm supporting my tanks, because I run with the armor group here, or we call them mechanized division, because we have armor and air. Guys select the flying, guys select the tank. When I'm running with them, I'll pull out the support class so that I can repair, I can resupply my guys and try to protect the tanks. But to be honest with you, I really like flying in this game. It's just really fun. It's not too hardcore as far as like a flight sim game. Anybody can jump in and do it, and it's just
You're a good
it's
pilot.
Just a lot of fun. So I'm working on it.
Well, I'm a flying brick, so you know how that's going to end. So Battlefield 5 has been out for now going on the past 3 months. It's had a bunch of patches. It had a couple stuff that came in that no one liked. We all know what happened with the time to kill debacle, which practically made medics almost useless. What is your impression of Battlefield right now in its current state?
Well, leaving the issue with the rental service aside,
that's the elephant for a little bit later on.
I'm pretty happy with it. I'm a little disappointed in the kill power, TDK, whatever you call that.
Yep.
It needs to be a little stronger. There's glitches that they'll get to and fix. We're used to this. You know, we go back when Battlefield 3 was released, so I think it's the smoothest release out of them all. It's good to have our clan tags right from the beginning. That gives us a sense of security that we're together. When we didn't have on Battlefield 1, we didn't have clan tags. Nobody knew who we were, you know. And I think it's pretty good. It has some work, but we'll talk about the rental service a little later.
How about you, Dr.
Yeah, the tags, you're right, is a big thing. When in Battlefield 1, it took so long to make that happen. And you know, for a platoon who's trying to stay relevant and keep people interested and draw in new blood. When somebody, what drew me to the vets was when I went into the server on Battlefield 4, and I was like, oh man, they're full side and then some, and they're just absolutely slaying me. I want to be a part of this, you know. So when we get in there, you look in the server now, we got, I don't know, 24, 25, 26 guys on one side and playing, and so that's a big thing. One of the big improvements that they've made. If you do it right, if you join on your squad, and when your squad gets in the game and you break up and your other platoon members join on them, and they get in and squad join, starting with the first guy, it eventually will keep you on the same side. And that's just an absolute huge improvement that's been lacking in this game for a long time. I wish they had some way to join as a larger group. But that'd be a wish list maybe for the next version. But
Yeah.
I think it's been a smooth release. You know, bugs and glitches. I know, I get it, and I think at this point it does get frustrating when you still have black screens that boot you out or whatever. But compared to past releases, really good. I think the gameplay is great. I like the hardcore style. But as far as a core mode goes, this is the best core mode that they've ever released. I like the way your spotting is not like everybody on the map can see it, you know, you can still hide. There's a tactical reason for spotting a guy and having him show up on the mini-map. It seems like it's more squad-based, which was always my complaint in the other games. It's like, if you're in a squad in the military, there's going to be a level of communication between your squad and knowing where people are and having situational awareness that you don't get in a video game. I can't hear in 3D. You know, my surroundings are, you know, boxed in like I'm looking through a letterbox. I don't have peripheral vision. So what they've done by giving you some of that on the mini-map in the core mode without giving your position away and removing the tactical side of it, I think is a huge improvement. So being able to join on your buds and the tactical side of it, I like a lot.
So those changes from Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5, how do you think some of these changes are going to affect the competitive play, like especially when it comes to league play?
I think it's going to improve. I think what they've done with the four-man squads and the way they slowed the game down a little bit. For example, the tanks. No more infinite ammo. You know, you unload everything. You have to go back and refill and prevent yourself from getting killed. You lose your position. So you know, I like it. I think it's going to improve.
You, Dr. Liebs?
Yeah, you know, I think the tanks from Battlefield 4, from the casual player's perspective, were very overpowered. If you had a squad of even just two guys in a tank working together, or more, like when we would run on a server, we'd have all of our guys cooperating with the laser tagging and everything. It was, if you were just a casual player, you felt like the tanks were overpowered. I don't think in a competitive play that was so much the case, but I see why they made changes. In Battlefield 1 went completely the other direction. I think the tanks in Battlefield 1 were
horrible,
kind of a laughable. You know, they were so susceptible to enemy infantry, and that you couldn't see. You didn't have any of the protection of a tank really had was armor and, you know, being a formidable you know, force on the battlefield. They were laughable. I'd sneak up behind them, bunny hop around, throw some C4 on them and blow them up and run away laughing. I think they improved it in Battlefield 5. Like I said, you got limited ammo. You still have a limited view, but it's a little bit, they're a little more durable, so they have more purpose on the battlefield without making them so overpowered that, you know, an infantry squad, you know, still can take you down if they're coordinated with no problem.
Right,
so
now,
as far as
when it comes to the competitive scene, where did the Vets cut its teeth playing competitive?
That started when I first met Ender, Tier 1 Gaming. He got us involved. He invited us in. We were out there building up Platoon, and he invited us to play in one of his tournaments. And you know, we got tore up, but we enjoyed it, and we thought it was handled with a lot of class. It was done very well, and well, that's how we met Ender. Our first real match was against GSP, and I'll tell you what, that's a group of guys. We didn't want to spawn back in. You know?
They're very good. They're
you know what I'm saying? Yep. Like I said the other night, it was like you spawned in and I was huddled in the corner like a beaten child. Leave me alone, please. How many tickets do we have left? you know.
Please,
But
sir, come off, sir.
yeah, as time went on, and you know, as time went on, and with a little education and coaching from Ender and Krieger, we gotten a lot better, and even put up a good fight against Ender in our last battle.
I believe the guy, the platoon leader from Warp, you know, that GSP was their first foray in competitive, and they got destroyed.
Yeah, Purple Gorilla, and the other guys, man, you know, they got it down.
But the guy from Warp though said that Krieger sent him a message, and he thought it was going to be like one of those troll, you know, kill yourself, you shouldn't be playing this news, but it was all this constructive criticism.
Yeah,
he was telling them, no, listen guys, you did good, you should try this and that. And
he was actually sending me messages while we were playing, hey, you guys are too bunched up and stuff, and that's a lot of class. I mean, that's why we like playing with these guys, and you know, they don't put up with any unfair play in their tournaments or anything like that. They monitor and try and do the best they can. And then that's all you could ask. A lot of work goes into those battles.
And Krieger even gave me some constructive criticism on my really crappy play. So
yeah.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. So you guys have had your platoon for going on about like 3-4 years. If someone was
almost 7.
6, 7. Okay, my math is way off again.
It's okay.
People who've heard me and, you know, commentate on matches in BMF League, they know my math is really shoddy. So,
that's all right.
when it comes to joining, if someone was thinking about joining or starting their own platoon, what could you give them advice-wise from the experience that you have? Like, we can go with someone who's looking to join a platoon first, what they should be looking to show or prove to the platoon, and then when it comes to actually starting one from the ground up.
Well, that's definitely two different situations. But joining a platoon, the first thing I would make sure is that they had their own server. Okay, because if they don't have their own server, then they can't practice together. They're just hopping from server to server. The second thing is don't rush into it. Just take a little bit of time, see how they play. Our servers were always ran strict. No teabagging, jet ramming, team killing. Play fair and you'll be fine. You know, if you're in a server with a bunch of guys with the same clan tag and they're doing all that kind of stuff, do you really want to be part of that? Me, I don't. And our platoon is not like that. As far as starting your old server, make sure you have a huge bottle of Tylenol, something for your stomach, okay? And make sure that your wife is dumb, deaf, and blind, because the dedication and time you got to put into this. I lucked out with the woman I have. Lieb's lucked out, and there's, you know, it takes dedication to run a platoon. This is not a once-a-week thing. This is an everyday thing, and you have to mix it in, and life comes first.
Why don't you guys, not trying to hit into the middle of the questions. Why don't you guys give a wave out to the audience there, because they're saying hi and everything to you right now in the chat. I
got kicked out of the thing, so I can't say, hey, everybody, whoever's saying hello. What's up?
Well, so,
what's up, guys?
Yep,
Hello,
all right.
fellow hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to that question. That question again with the platoon, starting it up from the. You said make sure your wife is not in. Like.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. That's the main thing. But what you have to do is, and I'll give a shout out to my leaders right now, because if it wasn't for them, this platoon wouldn't be there. Leaves, my XO. I have Stained Glass in charge of infantry, Bear Jew, the guy out in California, SF, LPR, Recon, Schoenberg Infantry, Snafu, the platoon liaison. He is one of the most fairest guys, along with Stained. They work together in that. And Parker. Parker, I can't give Parker a title. He does so much stuff that I get confused myself, and thank God he has it under control. You know. Guys like that, you need guys underneath you to where you can't do this on your own. I tried, okay? The guys underneath you got to be on the same page. Sometimes the commander is wrong. So the commander, myself, I have to be open-minded to listen to what they're saying, because they're actually more in touch with the guys than I am. So that's the key to starting your own platoon. And the other thing is, do it with honor and dignity. Don't run a clean server. Make sure that the guys you know that are recruiting for your platoon, such as LPR does a great job, and his guys, that they talk to these guys, let them know 18 or older. Judge them, listen to how they talk, listen to what they say. If they interrupt, they all would talk. If they brag about their KD, which we don't care about, you know, use good judgment when you're bringing them in. And then we have a 30-day period. We have two platoons. One is a regular vets, and the other one is a recruit platoon. They do not come. They're not allowed. They can't come in the regular platoon unless they're accepted and voted on by upper leadership. So
how about you, Dr. Liebs?
Yeah, I mean, he touched on the major points. If you're going to join a platoon, and if you want to be in a group that does that kind of trolling and stuff, you know, I wonder how long it'll last, because even those guys can't stand it when people troll them and they rage and they team kill and all that stuff, and that's no fun. And if you're trying to build a platoon, you're trying to, with your server, you want to be a kind of place where people favorite your server and say, this is the place I want to play because they don't tolerate that kind of stuff. It's going to be fun, it's going to be fair, and if there's a problem, I can even report it, you know, to the admin and say, you know, I'm getting team killed. You know, we as server admins always took that seriously. We tried to apologize for when we had to kick guys to make room for our members. Again, the dynamic of the servers wouldn't allow you to just join as a platoon, but you know, we weren't ready to play, and we might have to bump somebody to make room for our guys. But you know, playing fair and treating people with respect. And that's the kind of platoon we like to run. So if that sounds like the thing that you're interested in, then you want to find people who would like you. And you're going to go through these moments where people don't get along or something gets misinterpreted, especially in the world of communicating by text. You send something out in the text, it's a one-sided conversation. You don't know what kind of emotions behind it. You read into it and you fill in the blanks yourself, and all of a sudden it's noon and you haven't checked your messages, and all of a sudden you're on a mutiny, right? So you gotta have the right people with you, especially the right leaders that you can trust to quell the situation, not take things personal, to look out for the good of the group more so than themselves or their own hurt feelings or their ego about their kill-death ratio kind of thing. So,
and as a platoon commander, you have to have a certain level of tolerance for certain stuff. You have to be consistent if you're going to run a platoon. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't be, okay, no team killing, but yet you're out there team killing. You know, you got to be consistent, follow your own rules, and implement your rules.
All right. So when it comes to the teams that you have taken on, is there any team that you would consider, if not a rival, at least that team that when you know you're going to be thrown down against them, it's going to be a knockout, drag 'em out fight, kind of like your Yankees versus Red Sox, your Manchester United versus Liverpool, your cats versus dogs, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Is there any team that stands out like that?
I think for me, Liebs might have a different opinion. I think it would be Ian Ender's team, and I think that's because we go back so long, and they're fair play, and we're working our way towards maybe getting them in Battlefield 5. I don't know, but I have always enjoyed playing them. They're a bunch of great players. One of the players, Pixie. Hello, Pixie, if you listen to this. She's a sweetheart, great player, and she loves tearing my butt up when we play. So,
EN is like, they're like the Patriots, and we're like the Browns, and one of these days we're not gonna be so lousy. You know,
one of these days.
On the up. And when we get that victory, it'll be oh so sweet.
Ender's on the other side listening, saying, he's challenging us. He's challenging us.
He's laughing like it.
All right. We have this question we always ask about skill players versus positional players, and the definitions keep sort of changing depending who I speak to, because, you know, the guys from Odin says, well, everyone's have skill. I guess you could say, you know, we'll call them you call them that, you know, that player you need to have, the star player, not really star players either. I guess just say your shock troopers versus your positional players. You know, your shock players, they're the first ones in. They're the ones that are going there to try to take over that position and take on the other high kill players versus your positional players, like, you know, your medics and your support. How would you describe each type of player, and what would be the positives of each?
We utilize both, actually. One of our divisions is SF, and they're the ones that have no fear, so to speak. They go in and do what's got to be done. Leaves, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on the size of the event. Like, is it 8 versus 8? That's a different dynamic than 32 versus 32. Where with a 32 versus 32, you may have more need to have a defensive group, kind of, especially in this game where you can fortify and things like that. I think with a smaller match, everybody's fast and furious, and then there's the in between.
Yeah, we like the larger battles, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like being able to coordinate that many people in a match.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Seeing it happen.
Ender,
yeah, for us, that's the fun part.
Not to break up the question, but Ender's asking, how about an 8 versus 32? Not sure when you pull that off. I think they're giving you guys a hand. I think Ender's giving you guys a handicap.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
All right. Based off of those descriptions, I don't know if you guys got to see the video of my play from Battlefield 1 or not.
I didn't get to.
Okay, so we could just skip that one then. It's usually you know, laughs at my expense, but also, you know, also some actual constructive criticism on how to become a better player in Battlefield 5. If not even if you're just trying to be competitive, but just be able to enjoy the game. Another question Dragon was asking, and I know we haven't gotten to that part yet, but they're coming in here fast and furious. Aim assist, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't think it should be aim assist.
That's me. I've tried it. It's caused me more, like,
yeah.
It doesn't seem natural. I guess if you look at the no scope sniper one-shot kill, then aim assist is like a joke for those guys. How can you feel good about that? I don't know.
Now, one thing that I've noticed in the matches that I've commentated on is tank drivers. Now, for someone who's not trained or knows the ins and outs of the game, will think, well, that's just a person who likes to be in a thing that'll keep them alive a lot more, and they'll have really powerful guns and they can get lots of kills, and that's not the case.
That's not true. No.
What I've noticed in all the matches that I've seen and commentated on is they're an integral part of the strategy of the team, depending on mode and how many players, of course. But we'll just go like with, say, you know, a 16-16 frontline match as an example. How important is good tank drivers, ace tank drivers? Not just guys that, you know, they're specialized in the tank and they're really good, but if their tank goes and they have to wait until the next tank spawns, they're also good in their move.
Right.
How important are tank drivers, and what do you think it takes to really be an ace tank driver?
I think as far as the tanks, to be an ace tank driver, you have to have an ace team with you. And you cannot be a Rambo tank driver and be successful. You have to have guys on the ground watching you. You have to have a recon guy at a distance watching if somebody's creeping up on you. You know, these tanks here, as far as a strategy, You go in, but you don't go in all the way, because if you go in all the way, especially on some of these maps, these guys could be jumping from a second floor window, you know, dynamite on your tank, and then you're gone. So you have to be careful, but it's the team you're working with, the communication, with the guys on the ground, with the other tanks, knowing where everybody is, and not letting them get behind you is the key.
Dr. Leaves?
Yeah, situational awareness, you got to keep moving. If you stand still for too long, the infantry can just... The game seems to be designed to give the infantry the ability to sneak up on tanks. Your visibility is so limited, and if they get behind you, pop a couple of dynamites on you and you're in real trouble. So you got to keep moving, and this is where the coordination of the game I like, where if you have some people working with you, a couple of vehicles in tandem and a couple of guys on the ground that can support and protect your 6, the enemy infantry really becomes fixated on taking your tank on. They're not paying attention to the people behind it. So those guys can rack up some good kills. So you definitely got to keep moving, and if you're going to take a tank into an objective, you're doing it with the mindset of, we're going to get this objective, the tank's going to get destroyed, but if we get the objective, then that's fine. We'll respawn as part of the plan. Otherwise, take it in where there's lots of cover, you're just not going to last very long. So that's kind of the difference between the team player, and I just want to go out and play the game and not worry about the objective and get a lot of kills and have fun. Then you don't have to go there. You can just put yourself in a position where you can get lots of shots on target without being vulnerable.
Yeah. Now, you know, being a guy that whose KD against normal people is abysmal, but yet against tanks and crews is really, really good. Yeah, you really want to go to the back end of that tank. There's a tip for you people, because that's the weakest point of the tank. It's pretty much the easiest. That's where you want to aim for. You want to go for that booty.
If you built a tank for, you know, like you were in a war and you were doing it through the video game, and you built a tank for Battlefield universe, you wouldn't make the rear of the tank so vulnerable, because that's the place where they can so easily get behind you. You know, that didn't really happen like that in a real battle, and it's a video game and we want to have fun. You know, yeah. So, and if you're coming from Battlefield 1, those tanks in Battlefield 1 were, I think, in my opinion, a lot easier to take out. They've given us a little bit of help in Battlefield 5, so I think it's even the playing field out without making it too overpowered.
The whole key is don't let anybody get behind you, and communicate with the ground. You'll be good.
Now, you've played tons of games over the years in Battlefield, whether it was 3, 4, 1, or, you know, Battlefield 5. Is there any game that you had where, when you had a chance to sit back and think about it, you know, throw back a couple, and it brings a big old smile to your face when you think, boy, my boys brought it, my boys cleaned house? Is there a game or a match that you had where it was that moment where you're just like, wow?
Yep. It was a 32v32 match on Battlefield 1, and we took all 3 matches strong, and the communication amongst the divisions, the squads, was perfect. And I still think about it. I have it on, it's on YouTube, and I watch it every once in a while. It's pretty cool. They did a great job. And there's other matches that we've done really well in, but that's the one that stands out by far.
Winning for you? Yeah, for sure. In Battlefield 1, I think that was the only 32 versus 32.
That's it.
The game just didn't seem to promote that. Yeah, just weren't a lot of opportunities. So to be able to go against another group like us and come out on top, and it was close too. I mean, not like we blew them out of the water. They were very good competition for us, and we fought. There's one map, I think it was the Argonne Forest.
It was really close.
It went to the wire.
Yeah, right to the wire. I think it was 8 tickets or something like that.
Yeah, pulling that off on when sitting down. There's nothing like competitive play, like getting in a squad and playing with your buddies. Getting top squad, that's a lot of fun. But when your whole team is going against another team and they're organized and they're good, and
they were.
The adrenaline is at a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. I mean, we would after the match.
What was the name of the platoon you were up against?
They were the Bats, B-A-T-S. Good group of guys.
Great group of guys, actually.
Yeah.
Clean
Fit in
play.
real well with the Tier 1 group as far as the personalities and not being trolls and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, your guys have been at it for, well, I guess maybe 40, 45 minutes now. Anything in the stream? Systematic, yes, they are on PS4. Vets are on PS4, so that's where you find them. Is there, if you've been peeking at the stream, is there anything that you've seen in here that you feel your team can improve on from this game, from Battlefield 1?
Well, like I said, I was cut off, but I was watching for a while. I'm afraid to go back in. My luck, I'll get cut off from everything and lose you guys. But I was watching Mayday and the guys in the SF working together. That's our most aggressive group, and I was pretty impressed on how they were working together. They, reviving each other when they went down, working the buildings. I was impressed with that. You know, I don't get to watch them a lot. I don't ever. This is the first time I tried spectate mode in 5. I think I'm going to do it more often because I learned a lot more about the guys. But that's what I saw. I can't see anything now.
I see a CY6 guys. A CY6 guys joined the server. They go way back with us too.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching our infantry guys. I got Schoenberg and I don't know if Schoenberg made it tonight, but he's one of our infantry guys. But I'm watching Stay in Class and some of the infantry guys. They love to just get into the hot spot. And if there's an objective on a flag where the pivotal objective, or maybe you get an extra tank or an extra plane, that's always where they like to be, and they fight, and they don't care about dying or how many times they die and how many times they get killed. They only care about getting the objective, clearing out them tanks. So I've been watching them do that. As far as improvement from Battlefield 1, I think we've learned to run and gun a lot better than we did. We came from Battlefield 4, particularly me and the armor guys, we were tanking all the time. I think we've learned to play faster than we did in Battlefield 1 and be more fluid than we used to be, a little more too rigid.
All right, so it's time, guys. It's time to get to the elephant in the room. The whole debacle with rented private servers. I'm just gonna throw this right on the table, and I'm gonna say, guys, have at it. Give them your thoughts. Let's try, and I'll break it in there like two boxers when we have to get to the next questions, because we're going to take
congratulations,
chats,
Mayday and Squad for number 1.
But go for it, guys. Give DICE and EA a
I'll
piece of your minds.
And I won't be long-winded, Leibs. I promise. First of all, I think they need to listen to the community. Okay, they're not listening to the community. There's going to be different groups in the community that play a different way, and I understand that. But there are large groups such as the Vets, GSP, Bats, Biohazard, EN, and so many more that are in this community. VVV, all of these guys that we play for the same reason. We want our own. We need our own server. We need a place to call home. And when we had, the last time I counted, and that was when we went from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1, then back to Battlefield 4. We started at 0, and I think we had like 7,000 favorites already in just a couple of months. Just a couple of months. People enjoy rental servers. There's bad ones out there. Don't join them. Let them waste their money. Join the ones like myself and the other guys that are in the community have. Run clean servers. We need a place to call home. I think it's very selfish of them to not give us servers. You cannot have a series like Battlefield, rental servers. Battlefield 3 was when I started. Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, Hardline, which was crap. I gave it back after a week. Okay? You know, and now you're not going to give us our servers? I'm around since January of 2013, playing their game, donating. Myself, Leibs, Parker, many other guys donating money to pay for servers. I had A-Link, one every day, at least one, two, mostly every day, and sometimes three. Servers we were paying for. They need to wake up and smell the coffee. I'm Italian from New York, so I don't want to get carried away. My blood pressure's up.
We know where that might go. No, calm down, calm down. I know about blood pressure.
Give us our servers.
All right, I'm pushing him to the corner, Leaves. It's your turn. Go for it.
Yeah, well, if you think about Battlefield 4, that we were playing that game up until the release of this game, and there were still some of the popular servers out there. You know, Captain Dick's and the Vets, and they were still full. We'd go out there, and there were still people playing the game. I bet you there's still people playing that game right now.
There is.
So there's the lifespan of a game that's gone for a lot longer than they really ever thought in their development meeting or their cost forecast or whatever financials, these guys who put the money up for it. So if you think about, well, we're going to release this game, it's going to sell this many copies, it's going to live for this long, and then we're going to be off to the next one. What's going to keep people interested in the next franchise? Why Battlefield? Why are we so loyal to Battlefield? You know, as opposed to Call of Duty or Destiny or whatever. A lot of these games give you a similar, when it comes to right out of the box, they give you a similar experience. But the rental servers allowed us to make the game the way we envisioned it. We wanted something more milsim, a little more hardcore. We could do that. Maybe you wanted to limit certain vehicles or do something completely off the wall and say it's a knife and pistols fight. You can't do that. You can't lock the server down.
Put a password on the server.
Yeah, you can't lock the server down and have your own type of fun. And that's what builds the brand loyalty. We've been playing this game for a long time. We can't wait for the next version to come out. We like to continue doing what we do with the new maps and the game's great graphics and the gunplay and the sound effects and all that stuff. So, but if they don't give us rental servers, this game will fade out. And then we'll be waiting for how long until the next one? I may not, if they're not going to put rental servers in it, I'm not going to buy the next game unless I find out they have rental servers or I'm getting it in the $10 bargain bin.
Yeah. I think the thing that's also really cheesed off the whole community as a whole is before they came out, they said, servers will be coming, they just didn't know when, and now they're going like, oh, no, we're not going to do it, we're not going to be making enough money for us, more aimed at EA than DICE, and it's just not right.
So they didn't, I think they looked at what did we do in Battlefield 1 and we'll use that as our forecast for Battlefield 5. Well, the rental servers, I don't know, were they a hit with people? Did we sell a lot more copies? Well, guess what? The rental servers in Battlefield 1 were not very good. We paid for them for quite a long time before we could do anything other than put our name on it. We basically paid to put your name on it, and that's it. You couldn't password protect it. You couldn't.
And they raised the price.
Yeah, and they did that, and it was beta to this day because they weren't making money. But guess what? Is that the fact that there's not people in the community, or was it a problem with the game in the experience itself? So I get it. They got to make money. They got to pay their shareholders and all that stuff. But if you look at it long term, the investment in it creates brand loyalty and keeps people playing and paying for rental servers long into the future. If they're not into that, then you need to give it back to the third party, and somebody will pick up the ball and run because there's money to be made.
And I think when we were talking yesterday, Iceman, you said it best. Listen to your consumer, because in the long run, your consumer will actually end up making you money.
Well, it's like I said. You're a chef. You want to know what people think about your food. They don't ask us anything. It's almost as if you want to talk to somebody from DICE or EA, it's almost as if like they work for the president. They have secret services watching over them. Open up a line of communication with the public. Stop acting like ghosts. Listen to us. And we'll be loyal forever.
Dragon has let me know there are so many vets in the server, it's making the server lag. All right. Now
guys.
we've slayed the elephant for now until it turns into a zombie elephant. Let's start taking some questions from the chat. Some other questions that I haven't briefed you on just yet. Dragon, ask about new guns. What about new guns? What do you... New guns. Okay, well, it just says new guns.
Implementing them, or the ones that they've given us, or do we
Well,
want more guns?
I'm gonna go with what I have here. What is your favorite gun so far?
Mine is KE7.
Okay.
Oh, the Thompson with the 50-round drum. I love that gun. Yeah, I hope they put a lot more guns in it. They have, I mean, it's World War II, and it's great to
American guns. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of opportunity to tweak and give different play styles. Cool sound effects. I mean, they're great sound effects.
Dragons throughout the MAS-44 pneumatic gun.
I just got that gun, and I get killed by it a lot, and I'm trying to figure out, is it a 3-shot gun or a 2-shot gun? I mean, is it a headshot only type of gun? Because if you're going to be on if you lose the automatic fire, you better be able to kill with a couple of shots.
Hey, I got to give a shout out right now to one of the guys. I'm watching Stumbling Steps and Armor. He's in the tank. The guys was struggling, taking over Charlie. He went in there with the tank. He's got control. Good job, Stumbling.
Yep.
Watching you, buddy.
Dragon says that the MAS-44 is assault weapon, very much like the Turner.
I like a single shot accurate gun like that. So auto loading. I haven't really played with it much because I just unlocked it. But like I said, I see I'm getting killed by it a lot, so it must be pretty effective.
Now, how about let's go with another question about guns. Is there a gun that you got? You thought it was just going to be a hot, steaming pile of garbage, but then you end up finding that it was a diamond in a rough. Any gun like that you've come across so far, where you're like, boy, this is just total crap, but then you're like, holy cow, you're my new Saturday night. Any gun like that?
Me, I basically have stuck with the KE7s with support and recon.
Gun, and once I got it specialized, like, man, this thing is accurate, it's deadly, fast firing, and so I'm telling myself, because I'm a creature habit, I find what I like, and I was like, well, I'm good with it, I'm gonna stick with it.
Yep.
But I'm thinking maybe I need to go spec out the other guns and find out, what hidden gems they become once you do that. I think that's a cool feature that they put in this game, the way you.
Can I give another shout out?
Yeah, keep shouting out. You're watching
All
the
right.
stream, right?
Well, I want to give a shout out to JKP and his squad of new recruits, just taking control of Charlie here. Good job, boys. JKP, teach them right.
Yep.
Good job.
Dragon is saying his favorite is the FG-42.
FG-42. I don't know if I'd really spend any time with that one or not.
Well, he's probably going to tell us what it is. Dragon had a couple questions, and if I try to remember off the top of my head, about where would the scout class fit in a 4-man squad, and how are they best utilized?
Well, actually, we don't have recon in each squad. We have a recon division. We have 4 squads of 4 in recon division. They all don't play every night. We'll have 2 squads, but we have a long range, short range. We have guys that specialize in both those areas. So as far as all 4-man squads, if infantry wants to have one of the guys run recon, no problem. But we have recon division.
Yeah, I think that if you're looking at it from I'm a group of friends playing, there's 4 of us, and how can my recon fit in that group? It's difficult because the recon by nature is going to be farther away from the objective, right? So you're almost become not part of that squad, in the sense that if they're out there capping or driving a tank, you can spot for them, and that's very helpful. I mean, you might be able to pick off some guys in the area, but it's almost like the recon class, to play it the way recon guys like, they're not going to be around the objective. So I don't think it helps a 4-man squad in that sense. I think it works better for the team as a whole.
How about when it comes to support class? Are they more better suited in certain situations being in the front or further in the back, depending on the support class?
When I play support, I like to, if I'm supporting a tank, I'm in the back because I'm looking for enemies trying to sneak up on my tank, and I'm there to repair. If it's a run and gun situation, I like as a support guy to be up in front, laying down lots of fire, throwing out ammo for the people in the firefight, and then if I get killed, hoping my medic comes up from the 6 to throw me a revive.
All right.
How about you guys?
So I agree. If you're running and gunning, the support guy up in front, helping, you know, supply. But in the armor, when you're running on the ground, we're going to be behind the tanks, protecting the tanks.
All right. And when I'm just this is some of these questions are theoretical, given what things will be instead of won't be. But when it comes to league play, they usually have certain rules, and in the BMF league they had rules sets where certain weapons were banned. If that were to become a rule set in Tier 1, where there's certain weapons that the community, the platoons basically voice, no, you got to get rid of these. This gun's just too much, it's too broken. Is there a gun that you think would be banned from league play?
I'll see to you.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, that Panda Faust is really powerful, but they yeah,
Yeah, take that.
What do you expect me to say about it? Way too OP.
That sounds like a band.
No, hey, you gotta tank smart. That's it. No, I don't think there's anything that I would. How about you, Doug? Do you know him?
I get killed by the KE7 a lot, but I don't really think that it's as much overpowered as it is, the players using them. And my feelings on banning certain weapons and certain playstyles, it's kind of hard to police, and it seems to cause a lot of drama in the competitive communities unless you can do it in the game itself. And that's just like, that's not like a honor system and somebody's going to watch video to try to catch you pulling out a weapon. But I've seen a lot of arguments pop up over that, and everybody's got an opinion on their play style, and a lot of times it runs counter to their play style, so they want to ban that, because if it wasn't for that, we'd be great. I kind of think just let the game be the game, and it's a game, you got to learn how to play it. There are certain tactics that drive me crazy. If I could ban anything, it'd be the bomber pilots.
Oh my God!
Switch to the gunner. See, if you want to have the benefit of a gunner, put 2 people on the plane so I can get 2 kills when I'm finally.
Another shout out, Jingles. I'm watching him. He must have just got 12 kills in a matter of 30 seconds.
Nice.
He's unbelievable, this kid.
Wow,
good job, buddy. Go ahead.
Couple more questions. What is your favorite map, and what is your least favorite map?
I don't know the names. That's the problem. It's the one that's
like
all
Rotterdam.
green.
That's correct. No, that's Panzerfaust, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, Rotterdam kind of, I don't know, maybe because I played it so much in the beta and all that, but Rotterdam I find to be kind of tedious, devastation. But again, I don't love the close quarters, and I think those maps kind of are designed for that.
Okay.
I think my favorite map, if I'm playing by myself, or with a couple of guys, might be Fjell, because it's only you can almost always get a plane. Platoon play, for like balanced platoon play. Arras, is that how you pronounce it? I think that's a good map. All the cover, the flowers that you can hide behind. There's tanks, there's planes, but there's not too many. There's plenty of close quarter. There's distance sniping. It's a really well balanced map.
And out of the Battlefield series that you played, which one of the previous Battlefields does Battlefield 5 remind you of?
Mix between Battlefield 3 and 4. It's a mix. Graphics more like Battlefield 1, which were beautiful. Gameplay, Battlefield 4, I would say. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is tough.
maybe it's because it's World War II. It reminds me of Battlefield 1943. But I'm sure if I went and played Battlefield 1943, the gameplay would be so different. So it really reminds me of Battlefield 1, but the game the way it should have been. I know a lot of people love 1. I didn't so much, but you know, not trying to hate on it. I love this game. I really do. So I think this is Battlefield 1 the way it should have been.
All right. Now, why don't you guys tell us about Tier 1 Gaming?
Tier 1 Gaming, I think, is a great group of guys. Ender puts a lot of work into it, Krieger. It's just a good group of guys. He works really hard at what he does and does a lot of stuff for the community that I hope they all realize and appreciate. Good group of guys.
I love how he tries to weed out the trolls, the drama, the people who stir up trouble. You know, you're always going to have that, but I think you feel like when you go play there, win or lose, you're going to have a good experience and want to come back and do another one. I love how he promotes the other platoons. You know, I can see on their video page, he's got, you know, all these different platoons logos up there on these interviews you guys have done. So, you know, anybody who's putting up, and you guys too, putting up your time for something you love and for the benefit of not just the platoons but for the community. You know, hats off to you guys for that. Appreciate it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not a competitive guy for this game, but I still love it when I started commentating matches. So I love it in that way, watching, you know, a bunch of guys who've gotten together, got a platoon together, and watching two skilled platoons go at each other. Just the passion. You can feel the passion for everything we've done. Everyone who plays this game and puts any time and effort into it, I just enjoy it, and I enjoy talking with these guys because I've learned so much, and I get the feel of everyone's different playing styles and why they love the game and the reasons they love it. So hopefully EA learns the mistakes that they have lost us. So I'll just
I think they learned a lot from the game that they created from Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5. I hope that they find a way to give us rental servers or pass it off to somebody else who would develop it and do it.
Yeah, I think it was it you or was it, no, I think it was Private Walcott who said, you know, yeah, give it a third person, you know, I'm pretty sure they would pay EA, you know, some money for them to do it, and in the long run everyone's making money and everyone's happy. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I remember him telling me that last night when we were talking. Well,
it's like if you're a band, you know, and you release an album, you sell that one album, right? And that's the money but the band goes on tour and then they tour that album, and then the fans go out and see it and they want more, they buy the next album, and 20 years later they're doing a reunion tour. The album or the music had a moment, but the experience lives on, and that's what the rental servers do for us, man.
Alright, well, it looks like Taku the Fail Kitty has just dragged out a couple of bodies that I did not know was in my apartment. So I think that it's time for not only for us to end the interview, but I'm going to have to take a trip to the Pine Barrens. So if you live in New Jersey, you know what that's going on, how that's going to go. So, guys, why don't you, this is your time to drop some links and to sell where they can find you at. And all the different dibbly-doos that they can join you at.
Leibs, go ahead. Leibs is the one that does our website, maintains it, along with Parker.
Yeah, vetsgaming.com is where it's at. You can find out what's going on. And if you want to see how involved with the platoon we are, there's a little calendar that'll show you all the events we post and our weekly practices. And you can go back and see months and months and months where we have a core group of players that show up and play and have fun together. And that's what we're about. We want guys and girls who want to play this game, treat each other with respect, have fun, be organized, and you know, somewhat of we're kind of a milsim group. We're not like Arma, but we want to be organized and we want to be tactical. For general public, you know, if you guys want to, you know, if we get rental servers to set up a scrimmage or something, or contact us, you know, you can do that through our website as well. We have Discord, but we're not doing a whole lot with the public on Discord right now. You can search Vets Gaming for the channel, and we have a war room channel set up so other people can communicate with us. Right now, without rental servers, there's not a lot to communicate. We can't get together and scrimmage or anything. It's hard enough getting our guys into the same server, let alone another platoon to be there all day.
Anywhere else on the interwebs where they can find you?
We have a Facebook page. If you search the streaming news as Vets, you'll find us on our public Facebook page. It's more like promotional and informational stuff. The website's really a lot more current, where you'll get more real time.
All right. Anywhere else? You got a Twitter or a, you know, you said you have Discord. Is that just for platoon members only?
At this point, yeah, because like I said, we can't set up any scrimmages. We don't have private servers yet. We do have a public channel in our Discord, which you can pop in and say hi, but we don't really do a whole lot with it until we can get rental servers. I know you can find us on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel where our guys are posting videos, fun stuff, obviously. Guys shooting off or having a great kill streak, stuff like that. And I know you can find some of our guys who have some Twitch streams and do some of their own live streaming. So, you know, hats off and thanks to all of our leaders and our recruiters, particularly, who keep giving us new blood and getting good people here. A-Link, the Assassin, LPR, Private Wolcott, the other guys that help us keep this platoon running. Snafu, Stained Class, Schoenberg, Mayday, Bear Juke, can't wait till you can join us again, dude. And just appreciate everything everybody does. And for you guys we haven't mentioned, man, there's too many names here. We love you all, and if it wasn't for our members, we wouldn't have survived this long.
All right. Well, I want to add one thing before we go and patch it up over to Dragon. There are a lot of whatchamacallits out there, petitions to send that people have been filing out online to get the private rental service, so EA gets a clue. I'm going to mention one. You can go to change.org. There's one that is available that you can sign. You know, it'll definitely sparkle or that shine a light directly in EA's eyes and say you're looking at the wrong light. You know, this is what the community wants, and if you give to the community, this game will flourish even more, and you'll get return customers. But we'll kind of just leave it at that. You can try it out. It's change.org. There is a petition to sign. If you can go there and you can sign that. All right. Well, thank you, Iceman and Dr. Leaves, for joining us here and being underneath the magnifying glass that Takuna Field Kitty likes to use on all humans to figure out if they're worthy or not. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Thank you for ladies and gentlemen for watching us. I'm going to patch it back over to Dragon. You can follow. You can find me at Space Canada TV when I'm doing all our different streams. The next stream we're probably going to do is on Saturday for Monster Hunter World. So just go to our channel, subscribe, and see if you can. We want to hunt some monsters because it is the Hunter's Appreciation Fest. But that is neither here nor there. This is Tier 1 Gaming. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. For me and Iceman, Dr. Leaves, and as always, Executive Producer Takuna Fail Kitty. My name is Super Evil Pop-Tarts, and remember, in space, no one can hear you apologize. Peace.
And this will bring the end of our stream broadcast today. I'd like to thank everybody for, especially Vets, for allowing us to have them under the microscope for this one. You guys seem to like this, so we're in talks with the next one for next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. We have to figure out what the schedule is going to be for me. I'm working a lot next week, so we'll see how that's going to turn out. But you can catch all of the Space Canada things, including older broadcasts, such as me attempting to play Resident Evil 2 for the first time, which ended up going rather well. You can see Pop-Tart versus all of the survival horror games he hates, all on Space Canada TV, and you can also see those live when we broadcast by hitting the button there, the notifications button. Also, subscribe to Tier 1. Even though we do not have rental servers, Tier 1 Esports will be providing content hopefully every week and specifically every month in our top plays, where you can go to the Tier 1 website and submit your top play for next month starting early February. The January one's top play should be up by the end of this week. So from all of us here at Tier 1 Gaming and Space Canada TV, we thank you for watching, sign the petitions, and again, have a good night.